45, and I paid 113 franc for it.
So you are on camera now.
Oh, on camera. Candid.
Oh, do you know what year that was?
Let's see. I was in France many times, but this one was going between United States, France, and other countries, and stopping in France as a connection to Africa.
Oh, okay.
So it must have been around 1968 or around 1975.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Does it look...
So you weren't there in the 80s or late 90s at all?
I was there in the 50s, 80s, early 90s probably, yeah.
Okay.
When I was at Howard, there was Brian. He used to go there and used to meet in Paris at Place de Saint-Germain.
Oh, you were telling me about Palm Springs, what you liked so much about Palm Springs.
Yeah, there it is.
What did you like so much about Palm Springs?
Yeah, you had a hotel, and the hotel's waters are all coming from the spring, and owned by the natives, by the Indians.
Oh,
They
really?
had a casino there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really, last time we were there, they doubled the price.
Oh, really? They had become famous, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that, going in the water. It's all spring water. And the hotel, that's amazing.
You know what? I just realized this piece of paper you said you might have been talking to Tuyen about performances. There are also page numbers on here.
Page number.
It says Notes to Surah Overanalyzed, page 174. Kids in Multicolored Sonata, page 169.
Oh, they're different compositions.
I'm wondering, actually, if these are pages from the manuscript or the finished version of Denise's book. Do you know what I mean? Because there are page numbers mentioned.
Program. Oh, you think so?
I'm wondering, because
First,
I don't know.
Our third opera flies, yeah, 25th, number 1. 2 orchestra, yeah, I don't know it could be.
You know what I mean? Because what else would have so many of your works listed and the
Yeah.
page number like
Multicolor
that?
sonata.
So I don't know what that was too.
Page 169, Kids in Multicolor Sonata.
Hey, Deborah. Do you want to read your poem for us? No, what's that do?
The other one again? The same one?
Yep.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Well, here's the stuff we were talking about. In the 90s, you still were meeting with Fran Rogers, your friend, about spirituality and the life of the soul, right?
Yeah.
And we found some maybe poetry written by Deborah, we're not sure. Also, we talked about Kenneth Radnofsky, who you met at a workshop here in Kent and took him back to his hotel, got to know him a little bit. And then later at Taft University, he actually did a joint commission for the Miraculous Tale. Oh, and then we found this little bit of paper. Not sure if it was during William's time at the hospital or a little bit of poetic.
There's a poem there, right? It was what you say?
Yeah, you want to read that for me one more time? I think it's notes from being in the hospital on the other side.
Yeah, but usually they don't relate.
No.
I leave the hospital at 3:30. I revisit Vance, Cyril, Cipro, Cardizem. Cardizem is a medicine.
Uh-huh.
Manifest. Well, the two not relating, but this is a poem, I think. Beyond stillness, beyond sound, the sound echo of my Yeah, I think seems like a poem by me.
Oh, it does. Can you read it once for us?
Huh?
Can you read it once for us?
Beyond stillness, beyond self, the sound echo of my heart. Wow. The sound echo of my heart. Rivers and oceans from within. The cosmos inside the I, O, M. I, O, M.
It's interesting because you read earlier today this piece that you've written on a piece of green paper. And then shortly after, I don't know if you realize, you said something about we're not supposed to get old. But I'm seeing you had just read this also. You're thinking...
Beauty shining within, beauty shining, wisdom of perpetual youthfulness. Wow. Living in the head, let me do it.
Yep.
Beauty shining wisdom of perpetual usefulness. Living in the heart of unconditional love. Wow. Beauty shining wisdom of perpetual youthfulness. Living in the heart of unconditional love. Mm-hmm. You like this one?
I do. That's nice.
Wow.
But it's interesting that you're talking about the wisdom of perpetual youthfulness, and then just after that you said we're all getting older. And God, what did you say?
Yeah, he said God is supposed we are so. Did God tell us that or something? He didn't say that.
Don't think he means it to be that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we talked today. Oh, then I handed you this page of a rap dictionary.
The rap, huh?
A rap dictionary page, huh? You had a little bit of history with rap.
Have a little of what?
You've had a little history with rap.
Yeah. I did rap at the public theater.
What year was that? In the
Probably 2002.
2002.
And there's a guy, a big writer on rap. I should really write him. He lives in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Who's always after me somehow, and he writes big books about rap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. I haven't been in touch with him. Maybe I should renew my connection.
Or just think about him and he'll connect you. You were just saying Larry Lozier called you after so long, so it's nice to talk to him.
I thought of him.
Yeah. After you thought of him, then he got in touch with you.
He called me.
But you were saying your first rap in Cairo at age 14, that was just in a public space or was that in a library space?
That was a gathering of people discussing intellectual stuff.
Okay.
And usually Cairo had a group of intellectual women, kind of driving force to men to come and gather. And they were very serious. And they met downtown in some area in Cairo that I remember. One of them was Buthaina Farid. Mm-hmm. And here I was, I don't know if I knew her when I was 14, but anyway, it was a gathering. And I just decided, actually started before that. I was coming out in a movie and I said, Sima Awanta Hatu Flusna. Sima Awanta Hatu Flusna. You know, or it's like the movie is a drag, is a gypping us.
Oh, okay.
We want back our money.
Okay.
But it also meant the government was gypping us. We want back our money.
So it was inspiring a little bit of protest there.
Yeah, and I was in the movies and they actually couldn't finish it. And they gave us money back. They said, they didn't give us the money, they gave us tickets to come back.
Oh, so
and
credit.
I said, yeah, it's a credit. I said, this movie is, Awanta means a place that tricks you financially.
Uh-huh.
Awanta.
Uh-huh.
Meaning playing on you to take your money.
Uh-huh.
And the government playing on you to take your money.
Uh-huh. Well, did you say that because the government funded the arts, or it just happened to be that it
It
means
just
the same
happened to be, I
thing?
came out in the movie and I said, Sima Awanta, Hatu Flusna, Ima Awanta. Hukuma Awanta, Hukuma means government. Hukuma Awanta. Hatu Flusna or Hatu something, you know, bring us our money or bring us relaxation or something.
Uh-huh.
So I shouted, and everybody shouted, coming out in the movies then.
Uh-huh. Like restoration, when you say it, not relaxation, but bring us our money, bring us like restoration. Is that what it meant?
Restoration, yeah.
Restore our funds, basically.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was 14. You're chanting, rhythmic chanting. It got everyone excited.
Rhythmic chanting. Yeah, see, when there was a lady, it's amazing how single women, special women, took a front situation.
Uh-huh.
Like Safiya Zaghlul. Safiya, I told you about her, the wife of Zaghlul. And I couldn't believe what happened because we went out from our high school, took the streetcars and went to the big, huge, like you see the Kremlin, you see this big, huge...
Plaza?
Plaza.
Uh-huh.
Big, huge plaza underneath the house of Safiya Zaghlul.
Uh-huh.
And we said, we want to see our mother.
Uh-huh.
We called her Mother Safiya Zaghlul. And because we said that, the government couldn't dare touch any kid.
Right. Right.
They couldn't touch any kid.
Right.
Even they could have beaten us, went out with clubs, but they let everybody go. Everybody took the street, you know, just the whole city, and all came to Zaghlul, to Safiya, and she came out greeting the kids. Amazing. I couldn't believe it, you know, it was, but later on I know many riots were very badly dealt with.
What did you want from her? She had some ideas about what that connected with you.
You know, she was a symbol of kindness, a symbol of reality, a symbol of working things out, making the country better. Zaghlul was a leading nationalist, her husband, but she's on her own. Her husband was a leading, had a great history to him, and a very powerful, and probably one of the forces of independence came from her husband, Zaghlul. Because at that time, when we went out there, Egypt was still under some kind of military confinement from England.
Gotcha.
They got not quite a president, but they can move in any time. You know, so it was like a combined. There's the British kind of overseers, and there's the government that's trying to please them or something. We wanted the government to change or to go down and have no re-election or something like that. Boy, it was a lot of things was happening when I was a kid.
You saw a lot of things, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And your Cleveland Public Theater performance in about 2002, you said David Badagnani and
I think Mike Hovansik.
Mike Hovansik
Yeah,
played
I'm not sure.
instruments.
Yeah, I think they played. Yeah, there was a lot of groups that were playing instruments.
Yeah. So how did you get them started? You said that they provided some. The audience provided some responses, but how did you get them started?
I went around and I gave the audience words to answer me.
Yes.
And they did. I think they said, Hatu Flusna, Ima Awanta, Hatu Flusna, Ima Awanta. And then Hatsha Buran Dubust, and that's another one. This is based on, the first one is based on being treated badly, people trying to take your money by being smart, you know.
Yeah.
Like the movies industry.
They con you.
Con you. Yeah, con you. And the one that I used to have fun with, this old man Shahbur, who has a beautiful garden and beautiful trees. But they wanted to take him out, so he wanted to change it for some reason, and but they cleared up the land. There was only one tree nobody could touch, you know. So finally, Shahpur came to pick it up. Was supposed to be a big guy.
Okay.
It wouldn't come out. But then he stood there, and then his sister came and helped him, touched to him, and she helped him, but it didn't come out.
Okay.
Then his brother came in, and his nephew came in, then his cousin came in, then all his relatives one by one. But finally, his grandma came in and came out.
She was the anchor for the family, huh?
He was the anchor for the family.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a legend, or it's a story? Where did that story
I don't know. I made it up from I don't think it had the same meaning, but it came out. It could have a Lebanese connection.
Okay. So it is kind of mythology, legendary sort of family history.
Mythology, legendary thing. Yeah, I was active when I was a kid.
Well, we were talking about Clytemnestra today too, going to see it at the city center, and you mentioned one time you came back from Africa, I think you said.
No, I came back from Russia.
Oh, you came back from Russia, that's right. The
Yeah, I
Russian
was in
government
Russia.
finally granted you a ticket to come for your performance.
Well, when I arrived in Russia, I had this KGB guy receiving me.
Sure.
And then...
Your handler, right?
Eh?
Your handler?
Then he handed me over to Olga. And Olga was...
Oh, that's right, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And beautiful Olga was a very serious woman. Wanted to be sure that I go on time to the hotel and get out on time. And I have a very strong schedule. They handed me these tickets where I eat, you know, I use tickets to ride a cab. I don't give them real money, I give them a ticket from the state.
Right, oh yeah, and then they get their money later.
Yeah, and so my period they invited me was over. And I'm still there. I said, Olga, I need to go back home.
Right.
She said, what's a rush?
Because you had food, clothing, and shelter, right?
I said, Olga, I got a wife. And she said, she'll wait for you. She'll wait for you. But finally, I heard that I'm having a performance next year. You got a performance for dance? Yeah, we'll give you a ticket to go back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would keep me for months or 2 or 3.
So when you arrived at City Center, you were so glad to see, you said you saw Yuriko on the stage and you think they're rehearsing.
Well, the whole company was there. Yuriko and Ethel Winter and Bertram Ross and you know, the whole shebang that I knew every one of them. And I said, I went running to Martha Graham's studio to ask about what's going on. And they said they're rehearsing. It was an afternoon rehearsal, I think it was one of this afternoon. They're rehearsing for the evening performance at the school. So I ran to the city center to see them rehearsing. So they're on lunch, so I came from backstage and told the guy, you know, I'm part of the company, you know, don't hold me. And I walked up right away and I was, you know, you're right on stage, but you're not there. And I saw everybody rehearsing and I was so excited. And then I heard her voice, honey, how are you? And this honey was Martha Graham, you know, she was pretty old then.
In a wheelchair, right?
Sitting on a wheelchair. She said, oh, you're visiting. Did you come to see the performance? You know, there's some good seats down there. And I was just about, I started running, and then I heard the word honey. I stopped for a second to realize that second was the barrier between a big scandal.
With the wings and being on stage for the performance.
I would have been on a performance. I don't know what would have happened.
Well, probably they would excuse you in the end, but Martha Graham was very strict, right?
Very strict.
Yeah.
She never excused me.
Oh, she would never excuse you, huh? But she was so gracious. She probably saw this as about to happen, and she still had a lot of composure.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, she thought I was running on the stage.
Right, and she still had quite a bit of composure. So that's amazing.
She said, "Yeah, nice seats down in the front there."
Yeah, I get a feeling though, even you spent dozens or hundreds of hours with Martha Graham, she still had a kind of authority that you knew you had to know your boundaries with.
Oh, she had. Yeah, well, it's right. She had boundaries. Yeah. I mean, she acted funny sometimes, but
Did she?
well, not. Yeah, just like in a party, I come in and she bit my ear.
Bit it literally?
Yeah.
She bit your ear?
For some reason, and you know, I said, "What are you doing to my husband?" He said, "Aren't you glad I didn't kill him?"
Oh.
Not you glad, not the word kill, but I, you know,
Yeah.
not just exhausted him, but you know, because I was so skinny at the end of the
Oh. What, during what composition?
during Clytemnestra. I worked
After.
so hard
Oh.
that I lost a lot of weight. Non-stop for what? From July 57 to April 1st, 58.
Uh-huh.
Constant involvement with the Martha, every day, every minute.
So you were really physically,
Physically engaged.
yeah, and about.
I was in the building. I hear my music day and night rehearsed around the whole building.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was living there practically.
Huh.
And Rafael Stocchino used to come and visit me in the middle of the night. Raffaele, you know, my friend, we used to go out. He's interested in the nightclubs of New York. We used to go to the Cabana or Copacabana nightclub.
Uh-huh. Is he the one that was determined to go to every single nightclub, something like that?
Yeah, he's the one who sent me Treviso. He lives in Treviso, a very chic place.
Oh, does he?
Huh? How old is he?
No. Oh, I said, does he? Where is
Yeah.
Treviso?
Yeah, he just came to New York. He said, Halim, come and meet me somewhere.
Huh.
Yeah, he's probably have all the means he needs to go anywhere.
Treviso in New York City?
Treviso in North Italy.
North Italy. Okay.
I said, yeah, there's a book here, beautiful Treviso. It's one of them.
Oh, I see. Treviso. I see. That you're pointing that way, but it was behind my back. Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
picture, coffee table picture book.
That's where he lives. Well, I visited him in what's the city with the water?
Venice.
Venice. Yeah, I stayed there with him. I stayed a week there with him in Venice.
Here you. Oh, this is more the little girl with the mysterious spoon.
Yeah, that was a story. I think I recited that story on one of the CDs I published a long time ago. Not CDs, but cassettes.
Oh yeah.
Mike Hovansik published it.
Oh, did he?
He published some cassettes a long time ago.
Uh-huh. Trying to find which pages are duplicates and which pages are. This is from 2004. But is this not the first time you wrote it though? If this is 2004, was it older than that?
Yeah.
It's older than that.
It's older than it.
This is a performance you did in 2004.
Where?
With your African Cultural Expression class. For performance Wednesday, December 2nd, 2004.
Yeah, that was earlier than that. Hmm.
It just looks like you have a number of copies of it.
Yeah, the other person I had a great time with was Yuriko. Yuriko was quite something. And the other dancer, Ethel Winter.
Ethel Winter.
Yeah. Helen McGee.
You've not talked a lot about Ethel Winter before.
Huh?
You haven't talked a lot about Ethel Winter
Yeah,
before.
Ethel Winter came to, I don't know, was she still alive? Was it Helen McGee was still alive? Still in action.
Uh-huh.
Helen McGee has like a very sculptured body, you know, like her movements are very angular.
Uh-huh.
Ethel Winter is this kind of moving, circular movement of her body. She's the one who was one more guardian. I told Martha, Martha, I'm young and beautiful. I should be Cleopatra.
You know, I told David about that story. Even David got tears in his eyes. My husband, who is so emotional or emotionless about things, and I told him about that story. That story can make anyone cry. I told Adalyn, and Ada cried. It's just, it's so wrong. I would love to see that piece still performed by an older dancer.
Yeah.
It's never been inhabited by an older dancer, right?
And one more guardian night was Cleopatra, was Anthony and Cleopatra having a fling.
Right.
One more guardian night. It was not a young woman.
Right.
And I told Esther, I'm writing it for a mature woman.
Yes. Right.
It's the one who went through life and understood life.
Right.
And what it meant to have one more guardian night, you know.
Well, what it came up over was the Olympics. Because you'd always talk about how the 15 and 16-year-old skaters, they're so athletic and often very expressive.
Go like
But there's something about a 27-year-old skater or 28-year-old skater
oh yeah.
that you just can't even quantify what they bring to the skate. But it's there. You can see it, but you can't even describe it. It's just a wisdom, like you're saying, that comes from time. So I'm still passionate. I would love to see that ballet embodied by an older dancer.
Yeah, it was written for Martha, and it really wasn't as successful with her because she looked pretty and nice, but there was a deeper meaning to the whole ballet. For Martha is Cleopatra having one more guardian night with Anthony.
And Martha was herself a big fan of everything Egyptian too. You said her apartment, she had a Fifth Avenue apartment, right?
Well, an apartment I visited was on York Avenue.
York Avenue. But
York Avenue. It was a big apartment. York Avenue was it was a couple of blocks away from the studio, East 63rd Street. That's why I was able to get Martha and Eugene Lester together in the studio in the middle of the night.
You've told me that, but I don't think we've ever gotten it on camera. You talked about that. You woke Eugene up at 2:30 in the morning or something like that?
Eugene didn't mind me having 2 hours sleep at the very end of the morning, and he opened the door. He said, there's a bed over there, and he goes to sleep.
Yeah. He would go to sleep.
Yeah.
After he was tired out?
No. Sometime if I wanted to find a place to sleep.
Oh.
I didn't want to walk to my hotel.
Oh, gotcha. You just slept in the corner of his apartment.
Yeah, I kind of wake him up to come to the studio. And then after that he said, okay, you can go to sleep there.
Right in the studio?
No, this was in his apartment.
His apartment, yeah, gotcha.
His apartment was on 3rd Avenue.
Okay.
See, that was 3rd Avenue. You walk East 63rd Street all the way to York Avenue, to 1st Avenue.
Okay.
Or 2nd and 1st, then York Avenue.
Okay.
So 3rd,
That's right.
2nd, 1st, and then York
Okay.
Avenue. So East 63rd was between I think 3rd or 2nd and 1st. Then I walked to York Avenue, and York Avenue have this, on the river side, you have this big apartment building.
Mm.
Very beautiful ones, yeah.
Mm.
And that's where Martha Graham was, on York Avenue. So and usually her sister would walk the dog around 11 o'clock on on 63rd Street. So she would walk and pass by the studio.
Oh, okay.
And then she says, Halim, have you seen the ghost?
Oh.
I said, Jody, where do you think I got this energy from? And of course, Martha would hide her old granddad bourbon in her closet.
Hide it from who? The ghost, or who is she hiding it from?
From me.
Oh, okay.
Then she comes to, Halim, did you like the bourbon? I said, I loved it. That was just right.
Look what you've drawn here.
Yeah, I had a great time, I think. I was new to the whole thing. I was still Egyptian,
Yeah.
venturing in America, but drawing on one side and students on one side.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Erica Spencer, Sean Johnson, Crystal Brown, Sherelle Kane, Carla Smith, Ebony Jackson. Oh, and Jabani Dorsey, the son of Dorsey, the theater guy,
Oh, yeah.
Jabari. Yeah, his two kids, his twin kids came to me.
This is a note from Cindy Bissell. It says, Dear Halim, hope you enjoy this book. Let me know. I don't know what book she... Cindy Bissell.
Yeah.
It's upside down, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, this book is... When her dad left the book for me, he said, give it to Halim.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she passed it on to you, huh?
Yeah, he left it in the go-up and said, Halim, you know, her dad always came. First thing he did, he visited me here. He came, he brought a bottle of wine and he sat here with me. He's my age. And we sat together and we talked. And when he moved to, he's a medical doctor. And then I used to hang with him when I was living in Whitehall apartment. And he always listened to my music and made comments. And, you know, he was a very good friend. Cooked sometime. He was divorced from his wife. You know, and she lived in Hudson, I think.
So you get to spend some time together?
But he was always, we talked a lot, and he invited me to meet some dancers in Georgia. When I was traveling, I went to Atlanta, to Georgia, and stayed with him a couple of days to see some interesting lady that he was with, that she kind of had circle around her body in relationship to her dance. And she did it outside in the open, you know.
What was circling around her? What do you mean?
It's like loops.
Oh, hula hoops?
Yeah, but different sizes and different shapes.
Oh.
Yeah. I should find it. You should find it somewhere.
So were the hoops...
Representing circular relationship, probably to the planet.
Okay.
Something like that.
Was she interacting with the hoops then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were
they suspended or they are moving or?
But they were more sculptured, like.
Oh, they were sculptured. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent. You know, he was had a part of his brain was very intellectual, very perceiving, and so I don't know how he and I just hooked together. And every time he came to Kent, he visited me.
So the girl, his daughter lived in Kent.
Yeah.
This mentions Martin Bukowski. Does that sound familiar?
Martin who?
Bukowski.
Oh boy, yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, he was my doctor.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Martin Berkowski, is it? No.
Bukowski.
He was
Bukowski.
piano. He was piano.
He was piano?
He was what?
A pianist?
With twin. He played osmo symbiotic with twin.
He was not my urinologist.
I thought Bukowski was piano.
Oh,
along
Berkowski. Oh, Martin Berkowski is a very
Yeah.
well-known pianist.
Oh, okay.
He's a specialist of Liszt.
Oh, specialist of Liszt. Okay.
Yeah, he played. When he was in Kent, I had him use my piano at Kent State at my office
Yes.
at Oscar Ritchie.
Uh-huh.
He spent nights there, and he premiered my piano for four hands about the school in Russia. I wrote something for the. You remember some kids were killed in Russia? And
A long time ago. The first time I ever had heard, I think, of Chechnya, right? That was the first time Chechnya was really in the news in the
Yeah.
West that I remember of. Okay.
Yeah, and I wrote something for the children, called The Children's or Us or something. And it was for four-hand piano. And he and Twin played it. I stayed all night and finished it before dawn.
Oh,
I don't know what happened to that piece.
it's probably here somewhere. So it was premiered here at Kent State.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of concert that was? Was it
Well, music.
was Martin here for a whole concert that day also?
He played some Liszt, I guess. Yeah, Martin McGrath. He knows David Baragnani, but they don't get along. They kind of have opposite, what do you call it, vibrations.
Okay. Just repel one another, huh?
Yeah, they talk to each other and they make plans, but they repel each other at the same time.
Okay.
But actually, David was the one who made it easy for him to come here. I'm not
Gotcha.
sure, yeah.
David's a miracle worker when it comes to networking, I have to say.
Yeah.
Curriculum vitae. Auric Okinya.
This one.
Put it right there.
Oh, I think he was looking for a job.
Oh, uh-huh.
Jomo Kenyatta University. Yeah, Kenya got a lot of contemporary musicians. He does reading, traveling, jogging, and soccer. He's got references from School of Technology in Kenya. He's got references from Denmark. Got references from Botswana. It's gonna be interesting how the big challenge was education. Yep.
Yep.
So when you told the story about I'm young and beautiful and you're about Martha, David cried.
David got tears in his eyes, and Ada cried. I mean,
No
Ada.
kidding, really, just telling her the story. That
Yes. Yeah, because we just all felt so wrong to violate. But this is the facts about performance. Many times the will of the composer are violated, right? As the composer, you had the image of what the piece had to be, but the performance,
he said, "I'm going to be nice and beautiful."
yeah, they changed the whole meaning by
I thought
the
the word
way they performed
Cleopatra
it.
means somebody young and beautiful, nothing else, you know.
Yeah, so I think for us, we're thinking, it's scary how much your creative intention was clear, but the people who performed did something completely different with it that violated every intention of your creativity. I think for us, it was also almost a spiritual idea.
Yeah.
Like, if there is a God, like you were saying about our health, like if there is a God, He wants things to be a certain way. And in performing our lives, we can go completely against His intentions, you know? And all the beauty's lost, right? All the real deep
Deep
meaningful
meaning of
beauty.
growing, yeah. Only I think I found poetry in Ethiopia about the experience of older women, and really beautiful.
Oh, wow.
That's the only country that I found that, how beautiful they are.
Real adoration of age.
Age, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's one of the things I remember about Ethiopia. That age gives beauty.
Uh-huh.
And reality.
Uh-huh. I heard an interview on the radio yesterday of Christian women talking about not being afraid to show your age. That because what you're saying is true, that age and beauty go together with wisdom if you're a good person, you know. And they were talking about how even dyeing your hair can be something you just do to decorate your body. You do it for fun, you know. But dyeing your hair can also be a way of
Showing.
denying your age, you know. They were just talking about
My
that.
mother had her hair always black.
Black, yeah, very traditional for...
Henna turned black. I don't know how the henna turned black.
Yeah, because henna you think of as red, right?
Red, yeah.
But a special kind of henna, probably.
Yeah, makes it black, yeah. Yeah, my mother's hair was never white. It was always black.
Uh-huh.
But that was henna was a custom in ancient Egypt.
Right.
But they did it red and black. Well, they took the hair off and put artificial head caps and
A wig?
wings. Yeah, they did that in ancient Egypt.
Uh-huh. So...
Not as denying age. I mean, it's kind of growing into it with respect, I think. It doesn't have the meaning of not being old, I think.
Well, in a way, it's an honor to wear that wig. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
kind
like
of it gives you a position of thinking.
status, yeah. Or,
Kind of thinking, yeah. You know, you wear the crown of such and such, or the head of such and such,
oh.
you know.
Okay, so this is 2004.
Yeah, it's interesting about age. So they're young, but yeah, 15-year-olds are not mature enough, but they can physically be fantastic.
Yes.
They can jump, and they don't really care about the movement.
Spectacular.
They can be spectacular, go out in the air, and they're young, you know.
Yeah.
But that distracts from others, you know, the reality of it.
Well, they don't know the reality of it yet. I think there's not distracting from the reality because they don't
They
know
don't know
anything
it,
else. And here's a really Brazilian's newspaper with some decorated bodies on the front. But I have a question before I give you this. Did you tell me something, or did I dream it, that you did something with the Slinky toys? You know the Slinky spring toys? Did you tell me you did something with the
I did something with it, yeah.
Slinkies or springs?
The spring, the one, pim,
Yeah,
pim,
Slinkies.
pim,
I thought
pim,
you did.
pim. And I don't know what I told you, but I did experience that. I loved them.
Yeah.
You went, bim, bim, bim.
When you were young, or did you do something when you were older with music and slinkies?
No, not when I was older.
Yeah.
Yeah, not when I was
Just
young.
playing with them, or
Yeah,
did you do
just playing
something?
with them.
Oh, playing with them. Okay.
I think, yeah, I played with, I think Fran was playing with them too, Fran Rogers.
I saw a video on YouTube of somebody put a slinky on a treadmill.
Really?
And they actually ran some very epic sounding music, kind of like a
Oh.
fanfare. The slinky's going on a treadmill with a fanfare in the background. I thought of you.
Was a fanfare or
Yes,
the
the fanfare music, and the slinky is just going down the treadmill.
down the road?
Not
I
even the
love
road,
that.
the treadmill.
The
You know, the
treadmill.
machine that just like this.
They look beautiful.
Yeah, they do.
Beyond Carnival, the spirit of celebration. Oh, they seem like they're making it up. Yeah, I like Carnival in Brazil.
Uh-huh.
I still get the magazine. They still send me. They never give me up about the magazine. I still get the, for being lived in there in 1981, 82, 83, I don't know, yeah. 83. Carnival means business for Brazilian economy. Grátis. Vote agora na dish. What a confusing sound. Vote agora na dish. And vote now for the dish, the dish television.
Oh.
But the sound of the Portuguese kind of jarred by the dish sound. Cansado dos aumentos na mensalidade. Salidade. You know, the D sounds like J. Salidade.
Uh-huh.
Do seu something. Classificados. Actually, Brazilian Portuguese sounds much better than Portuguese Portugal.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds very different. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of more musical in Brazil. Because in Portugal,
Huh.
kind of short and fast.
Huh.
But in Brazil, they kind of move around, you know, kind of
Uh-huh.
more at ease.
I wonder if that's because of the proximity of Spain to Portugal, that their sound of their language is more distinct to make their identity more clear and unique from Spain.
Because Spain was longer history.
Yeah, so Spain's right there. If their language is kind of gruff, it would stand in stark contrast, even though they're close physically.
Yeah, and the Arab history there is very interesting because it makes the language has a lot of Arabic words,
Uh-huh.
and they were involved in the Inquisition.
Uh-huh.
They were actually they helped the Jews a lot
Uh-huh. In Portugal?
in Portugal. Stood by the Jews actually. It was interesting history there. Yeah. Everybody's messing up with their history.
Well, you do make big mistakes along the way.
Hmm?
We do make big mistakes along the way.
Mhm. Well, I don't have to keep this Brazilian thing.
Oh, here's something sent to you from Chaz Smith. Is he looking for a job too at this point?
From who?
Chaz Smith.
Oh, Chess Smith, the orchestra director.
Uh-huh.
He was looking for what?
I don't know if he was looking for a job at Kent State because he sent you syllabus
Oh,
of a class he taught and also his
yeah.
evaluations from his students.
Maybe I was on a committee evaluating him.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably have the longest history of evaluating people. When I arrived at Kent State, I arrived as a full professor. I didn't-
Right. Right.
And I think only me and who's the other guy? Lindsay Merrill was the other professor. That's
Uh-huh.
it. And the dean of the College of Fine Professional Arts, Mr. White, was also
Uh-huh.
his professor. So that gave me immunity.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how it happened because, boy, I wouldn't have lasted that kind of treatment.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, you grow where you're encouraged.
Huh?
You grow where you are encouraged.
Yeah.
If someone's not encouraging you, you just
You close in.
shrink away.
Yeah.
Yeah, if someone had been evaluating you harshly in your work, yeah, you probably
I
wouldn't
mean,
have flourished.
I actually didn't plan to be a teacher.
Right.
So I ran into the Rockefeller guys, the guy who I bumped into in front of the the guy I thought who hated me, pounded a lot of money. He said, go do your research.
Uh-huh.
And I started as an associate professor all of a sudden in an important university,
Right.
you know. And I was, before that, I was just, I don't know, I didn't do any teaching, did I? Then after that, I come back, and I'm not going to teach. I ended up in Rockport, Mass, and somebody said, somebody want to see you, and he was the chair of the African program, and he said, you got a lot of knowledge to waste. You better come to Howard.
To Howard, yeah.
So I went to Howard, associate, and I became full professor at
Uh-huh.
Howard.
Uh-huh.
So when Mary Mary came to see me, said, well, you know, you're going to take a year or so for that. I said, well, I got a tenor position from Rutgers, came to me in cable. I got tenor position at Howard.
Yeah.
I think, he said, yeah, we better offer you tenor position too.
Yeah.
So they were competing. So I started, and then when I started evaluating people, I felt so bad.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. And I said to Lindsay, everybody's arrived. We married them.
Yeah.
It's like a good marriage. Just leave them alone and tell them to do their work.
Yeah.
And they'll do it beautifully.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to evaluate that. I was against it.
Yes.
Because I know I wouldn't have been able to live through it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you know. It's tough. It's really takes the energy out of the person. Like the fear, the disappointment. If you have somebody against you who don't like you, and then you have all these kind of really bad. I never understood that.
You didn't understand the whole academic politics, really.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said the guy who's been married to, he's like, or been in the system, and it's beautiful to have a member of the family continue. That's the way I looked at it, you know.
So it's really your job, or the university's job as the leader of the family, to make sure all the family members are successful. That's
Yeah.
how you saw it.
Yeah, successful together.
But the school was looking to basically excommunicate people from the family.
I don't know what is that energy that comes into a situation like that. Strange.
It's very powerful in people's lives, like you say. Power to destroy. Yeah.
They become so powerful they can eliminate things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The other thing we were looking at earlier was this rhythmic. You said this would make an interesting thing to work on again.
Yeah, this is interesting to create a performance with drums and motion movement.
It says new steps.
Yeah, new
It says
steps.
new steps.
New steps, yeah. Well, not steps. You mean the whole body movement.
You were adding that to the performance at the last minute, maybe? I don't know.
Jerk.
You got an idea?
Jerk, jerk it in. Jerk, jerk it in. And you go put it, jerk, jerk it in. I did, you know what?
What?
I did this at Emerson College.
Oh. Emerson in
Boston.
Oh, Emerson at Boston. I'm thinking Emery. Emerson in Boston.
Yeah,
Oh.
you know who invited me to do that? John Langstaff, the
Oh.
singer who died in Lexington. He gave me his home at Washington to be free for me. He had a big palace-like home.
Oh.
He had a big building, and wow, and his mother was so kind to me. She always sat by my piano. She always wanted to hear me play.
Uh-huh.
John Langstaff.
So this was Emerson College, huh?
Yeah, I played that, and I had the whole school do it. I mean, not from this one page, but I remember now that I had something of this nature, and I had a workshop and had the whole school sing and dance in Emerson College.
Do you know the year?
Let me think now. It's the year when I came. When did I go to D.C.? When I accepted Howard University job was 1966. So this could be, and then I met Langstaff through Elizabeth,
Yeah.
who actually got me there from Rockport. And so 66, 67. So I know Langstaff 66 because, and he was invited, I think it was like 67. And he invited me to Boston. And he was excited about and I was doing all kind of phrases for him to sing, to me get accustomed to his voice and sing like that. He was a marvelous guy. He was kind of regular, not regular, but one of those singers of university character, but he had a sense to him beyond that.
So he was not a superstar singer, but he really had some great musicianship to offer to your work.
And then I did a play. I was a resident. He actually was responsible for me to be a resident at McLean.
Okay.
Elementary and high school.
Okay.
As a composer. And we used to go to army shops and get synthesizers and little recording equipment. And I had the kids record sounds in nature, like thunder, trucks, lawnmower. And I helped them, I taught them how to use it, and we all worked and added light, that comes with electrical impulses as they move. And then we did a whole show for them. It was during this residency that I had, 66.
66,
Yeah.
you did that.
And then there was some guy from American University. It was a group of people, some professor from American University was involved. Langstaff was involved, and I was involved. We were actually a committee of working things and interested in innovative things for the kids. And composed music while I was there. And some, we had senators' kids and black kids sitting next to each other at the time. Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing.
And then, did you write a work specifically for Langstaff?
I did partial works for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of songs?
Of songs, yeah, I have to get them too. But I did actually perform things spontaneously and created African characteristics.
Right.
So we have a collective performance. We had a collective performance with kids singing Africa, using their bodies to reflect light or shadows, sending them out to actually record and use the sound in the performance.
So all those kids were performing in the musique concrète composition technique.
Yeah. All these kids.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Be fascinating. Who remembers that?
Who would remember that? I'm sure it affected them.
Sure.
Opened up their eyes and feelings, and that was a marvelous little corner there I had. McLean, Virginia.
Mm.
It's amazing. How satisfactory that was with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other thing we talked about today was Ray Bobgen. Bobgen?
Bob Gunn.
Bobgen. Who received a Rockefeller Foundation Multi-Arts Production Fund Award
Yeah.
for 1999 to 2001 for Your Blue Sky Transmission.
You received that from my blue sky, yeah.